Great Spirit, all that hinders, tie reminders to my fingers. I must speak with you more often. Great.
Hey guys, so Happy New Year. I wanted to make a video kind of like a New Year's message, but I'm a little bit late already, and by the time I edit this and get everything done, it might even be the 3rd before it goes on, but better late than never, they say. I want to make it because I think it's important to start off a new year with the right mindset. We've got to start with the right mental attitude in everything we do, but coming into a new year, there's something about it, something fresh, letting go of the old and embracing the new. Numerologically speaking, it's a different cycle of energy. So you can align yourself differently with the energy that is the consciousness around you based upon each new coming year. And this is something I absolutely 100% have witnessed in my own life. I no longer need to believe in it. I know that each year brings its own cycle of energy to a life. And with it, it brings its own cycle of energy to your soul, to your consciousness, to your connection with God, destiny, whatever you wish to call it. Before I move on to speaking about 2018 and everything that's ahead for all of us, who knows what that might be, I want to quickly talk about 2017. I think it's important I do because I want to talk about everything that happened in 2017, but I also want to talk about the tools that I had to make that happen. Because if watching me is something that interests you, if you're interested in the knowledge that I've acquired or being gifted by God, if you're interested in the life I lead of service and helping others, if you're interested in building an NGO, if you're interested in building something sustainable, if you're interested in living with the gentlest footprint you can upon the planet and the environment, then it's probably of benefit to you to know the tools I have to do those things. Because the tools I have are available to us all. It's just many people don't often realize that the tools are there. Often the tools are right in front of us and we block the ability to see them with our thoughts. 2017. Why would I have some space to speak about the tools for a successful year? Well, starting out in 2017, the NGO was employing 32 people. By the close of the year, our staff had grown to 76 people. Currently, the NGO that I started using a laptop computer and a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, and a rubbish camera which battery used to die constantly, is now providing full-time employment for 76 persons. And these are people who need employment. It's not like going back to the West where employment can be found quite regularly for many people in comparison to here. We're talking about a country where employment is rare. We're talking about employees in our team, which we prefer to call a family, who were actually homeless before they came here. So this is completely life-changing for everybody involved, including the staff. And I always want to point that out, that the work we do, as well as helping the children and providing a loving home for the children and helping the children out in the community as well, and the four-legged children, our rescue dogs. Also the staff. It has a huge beneficial effect on the staff, their families and their friends around them. Our staff all earn a minimum of 4 times higher than the average salary, which is still not a lot, the average salary being $1 a day here in this country. But that means they can help their friends and their neighbours with school fees, with food. It has a huge, profound effect on this community in this area of Kilimanjaro region in Tanzania. As well as the staff, we started out, there's a necessity for those staff because we started the year, and at the beginning of the year we were guardian to, forget the number, I think it was 36 children last New Year. That's how many children we were guardian to. Going into this new year, we are now the full-time guardian of over 100 children. They don't all live here with me at Featherstail. At Featherstail we have the special needs children predominantly, which there are more than 50 as of today. Then we have the centre, Angels Gate Home, I prefer to call it now instead of centre, Angels Gate Home for street involved children. Then we have a place that we call Kipapeo House, which means butterfly house, and this is where our smaller children live, as young as 3, who are able-bodied. In 1 year, more than nearly 3 times the amount of children have came into our care. Among all of that, we have built, we have expanded, we have bought a new piece of land to expand, we've set the foundations for the new children's homes, because we are not planning on stopping anytime soon. We're going to keep going until all the children who need the help they can get, including the 4-legged, you might be able to hear howling in the background, have a safe and loving home. And it's a necessity, guys. It's an absolute necessity. You've seen the horror stories, you've heard me talk about them. Life for special needs children here is just dangerous out there unless they have good family support. And sadly, most of the children are with single mums, so they don't have it. Life for the street children, very, very bad. Life for all children without a family. It's a terrible thing. But let's not forget, our main focus and our first line of defence, it's never to bring a child into our care, it's to provide support for the child out in the community. And more than 900 children through the NGO this year have had that support provided. Education, food, housing, medical care, whatever is needed to keep them with their guardians or their biological parents. But predominantly the children in the fund have no parents and they are with guardians, be they relatives or neighbours who have taken the children in after their parents have died. So 2017 was a very successful year for everything we've done. The YouTube channel grew by 400%, if you want to go into the mathematics of it. We had our fleet of cars expanded thanks to help from persons. We had a new website built and we're trying to sort out another new website because we're having a few issues with that one. All in all, we succeeded in what we set out to do and we excelled beyond it. We saved the lives of countless children at the hospital, paying for medical care operations. We provided medical care for thousands of people. We provided food for more people than I can count. Our farm had a bumper harvest. It was just an amazing year. An utterly blessed, phenomenal year of growth, expansion, love and healing for everybody concerned, me included. I shouldn't, however, mention the year because all years have their ups and downs. Such is our life here. You can't have cold without hot, and thus we can't have success without, not failure, but without sadness on this occasion. We've had our failures. If you're not failing, you're not living. If you're not failing, you're not trying. So don't think we don't have failures here. We do. But sadly, we had to say many goodbyes, as you have all seen as well. And from a year where I've seen such amazing blessings and success, I've also will always have memories etched in my mind, for instance, of a child I love dearly who died in my arms. But I shan't look back on the year and frown. I'll look back with gratitude that at least I got to hold these children in my arms. At least I got to be around Emmanuel, Johanna and Wanyama. At least their presence was in my life, if only for a while. Quite a while for some, actually. 2 years, 3 years and 5 years. So I feel with that 2017 was a successful year. Like everyone's year, it had its ups and downs. But this is why I want to speak about 2018 and why I think I have some level of small qualification to suggest how to have a successful year. Because I think if I am achieving and managing to do what I'm doing with the support of you guys, and more importantly of all, the foundation of all of it, the support of a very faithful God, then I should share that. Because more people should have it. More people should understand it, and more people should have the tools to be able to do it. In the Western system where I grew up, the tools are not shared with you very readily. You've got to dig and search and escape and clamber to even get a glimpse of some of the tools I'm talking about. And even when you do see those tools, you're so pre-programmed that you believe those tools are nonsense. They are fairy tale and they don't work. And I'm telling you they do work. And anyone saying they do not, as it says on the back of my t-shirt, those who don't believe in magic never find it. Those without faith will never have the manifestational ability of those with faith. All I do, everything, is of no importance. Because what you have to understand is when you look at me, you see John, or you see Baba Wanyama as I'm called here in the country. I don't do a single thing. The concept, the idea of John ahead of you, in front of you, I don't do anything. I can't. I prove that with my life. It was only when I turned my life over to God, I achieved anything worthwhile. Anything. Everything else was a train wreck. Everything else involved lies, deceit, debauchery, immoral behavior, drugs, alcohol, fleshly pleasures. That was my life until I turned it over to God and I started to build and I started to achieve. And I shouldn't say I should say we started to achieve, because you guys watching got involved with that energy that God put around me. When I put my life over to God, there was an immediate shift and a change, because my foundation for everything became God. This was the foundation for all that I had. Now my main tool for that was prayer, but my main tool in prayer was being able to hear God. It's okay praying and praying and praying, but when it comes to hearing the answer to your prayer or the solution to your problem, what if you're not taking action to hear the solution to your problem or to hear the answer to your prayer? You're down, you're praying, you're talking to God, please God, please God, please God. Great, you're putting some work in. How do you get into the state where you hear the answer? And that in itself is a huge task and an important task. Because what you have to do is empty yourself and realize the lack of importance of you. For instance, the most crucial thing I ever learned and continue to have is that my opinion means nothing and nobody's opinion means anything. Because if a man stands holding a blue pen and everybody tells him that the pen is red or green or purple because it's their opinion, he's still holding a blue pen because there's only one truth in the world. And opinions are filters of truth. Opinions are altered perceptions in their billions and they're not important. So how do you come to observe truth? You empty your vessel. How do you come to hear prayer? You do the same thing. When you empty your vessel and you become thoughtless, you do as Jesus said, take no thought for your life. You do as the Buddha asked you to do and you eliminate the thoughts. You do as Krishna asked you to do. And you find a union and you win the battle over the left and the right. And you find a thoughtless, persistent thoughtless state. Then when you get down on your knees and you pray and you ask for help, when God needs to get through to you to tell you, if you're a disciplined man or a disciplined woman, then God will get through. Because you're not sitting watching TV, you're not drinking at the bar, you're still, you're ready, and He can come. Even if you make space once a day for Him to come, God will come. Mother, Father, God will come. And will answer that which you've prayed for. Go that way, go this way, open this, reply to this email. It will come. But if you don't get empty, He can't come. He cannot come and tell you. It's impossible. And thus we have so many people all over the planet unable to silence their brains, going around with their intellects, saying there is no God, I've prayed to God and he treats me terribly. Did you ever get quiet? Or did you always actually think you were these linear thoughts going on and on and on? However intelligent and convincing they might sound, did you honestly think you were just those linear thoughts? You're more than this. And if you don't think you're more than this, go and watch a sunset. And try with your linear thoughts to even begin to describe how it feels. And here's the problem. Very few watch it without going, there's a sunset, there's another sunset. And you destroy it. The present moment is gone. You're sedated with your thoughts. You're sedated with your descriptions. You're dead to the present moment. And in the present moment is where God dwells. So God is my foundation to do what I've done. It might not be that impressive to some of you, but it's, for me, if another person can replicate what I'm doing, it's worth doing. Because I know every night when I go to say goodnight to these children that there are more. And they need somebody. They need someone. And perhaps that someone is watching me now. And they don't have to come to Africa. It might be somewhere else in the world. It might be in New York. It might be anywhere. But everybody needs someone tonight. And we all have the tools. We just don't quite see them. So, my foundation is God. My tool is prayer. My ability to hear the solution to my prayers comes from the practice of emptying my mind and being thoughtless and taking no thought. My next tool, not really a term, my next tool, let's say, is social media, which everybody watching me has access to. And if you're watching me, you've probably got a laptop or a phone, which means you've got a camera, which means you can do what I'm doing. Very straightforward. Not everybody can talk to a camera. Watch my first videos. I was constantly after every word. Now my camera's my friend. I'm cool with it. I talk to it like I would talk to my wife or my friend. Tool is not a word I'm going to assign to the next thing, but I have God as my foundation. I have prayer as a tool. I have my practice to empty my mind to hear the solutions and answers to prayers. I have my physical tools. I have my laptop. I have my discipline to the best of my ability to always remain aligned and to keep my energies here where I feel a persistent natural state of highness. Natural high is the persistent normal state for a human. When you don't eat too much and you do enough exercise, you are always happy and high. When you take in enough oxygen, when you are not sedating with movies, you're not sedating with thoughts of the future, thoughts of the past, your natural state of being is happiness. I assure you, it's the case. If you think I'm wrong because you're feeling sad, watch my depression video. All these skills I have learned have brought me to a natural state of happiness. Now, from that natural state of happiness, of having discipline, not overindulging on all that rubbish and drugs, alcohol, and the wrong foods, and all, you know, what you would call non-sattvic foods, all of this, the elimination of all that allows me to have a natural state of happiness. That allows me to make my YouTube videos. That allows me to care for these children. That allows me to have the patience to have 100 children. That allows me to have the patience to have 76 staff, most of which are not educated. That allows me the patience to deal with everything that's going on. All of these things are free, except for the social media tools. They're all completely free. But if you're watching me, the social media tools are free because you're already using them. So make use of them in a different way. Don't be a watcher, be a doer. Why not try that for 2018? The more voices, the better. Now, all of that correlates to something very important. Resources. Now, where do my resources come from? You. You guys are the resources that come here to help these children. Be it prayer, be it sharing videos, be it sharing that thing that which we need a lot, resources to pay for the medical care, to pay for the food, to pay for the housing. The time you share to do fundraising and so on and so forth. Now, most of you are compelled to do that because I have these tools to show you what is going on. But most of you are compelled to do that because you have an open heart, because your mind is quiet enough to know the realm of God. And if ultimately all of that happens by starting out by saying, right, you know what, I'm not important, my opinions are not important, let's get shot of this ego, let's get rid of this repetitive, oh, I'm a victim mentality, all of this nonsense that we do to ourselves with our linear mind. And let's serve God. Let's pray to God. Let's learn how to hear the answers to prayers by getting quiet. Let's find a way to get an outlet for that feeling which comes within when we learn how to silence ourselves. Okay, done. Check. Now what? Let's wait for God to move people into our lives so as I get the physical, absolute necessity of the physical resources to push forward, to help these children. The whole process is one. It's a oneness. And you're part of it. I only know myself in terms of other. You only know yourself in terms of other. My voice has no meaning, has no point to it if you don't hear it. The song God places in my heart for these children is irrelevant if you don't hear it. There's a relationship there. And it's a beautiful relationship. And all of these things made all of that happen in 2017. So going into 2018, if you want to see a slightly different year, if you want to do something a little like what I'm doing but somewhere at home, if you want to know what the key to our success is, that is it. That is it. Prayer, meditation, fasting, being still enough to hear the answer to your prayers, using social media in a positive way, and understanding and being grateful that God will send you the answers to your prayers predominantly in the form of other human beings who He will guide to yourself and those which you are praying to help or trying to serve. And that can bring us all a year like the 2017 I had. And we have to do it. You've got to set your intentions, you've got to drive through it. Your number one job is to just silence this. You're not a victim. You're not woe is you. You're not, oh, I'm sick, poor me, I'm poor this. Yes, if you're sick, don't get me wrong. But you're not a victim. You're an expression of life. And your experience is your experience. And if you're sick, it's not pleasant. But it's only not pleasant in comparison to seeing the times when you were healthy. And those times might return, and when they do, your gratitude for your health will be far larger than it was before you were sick. And we can put a positive spin on everything we do going into a new year. And we cleanse ourselves of those negative thoughts. And then you can have a miraculous year. All of those things happened in my life at the NGO. On top of that, I got married and I'm expecting my first son. 6 years ago, I was on my own in a flat, smoking drugs, drinking. Is it 6 years? 7 years ago. I was alone, addicted to weed, pretty antisocial. Not even the idea of coming to Africa. No idea of helping other people. I'd just get high, drink, party, go to the clothes shop. I was an empty soul. And if that sounds familiar in any which way, shape or form, look where I am 7 years later. Now you might say, but I'm there now, I'm sitting on my couch and I've got nothing, I'm just smoking weed and I don't have this and I'm drinking alcohol and I'm not doing the things I want to do. Stop and fight and get ready, because eventually you'll overcome it, and when you overcome it, God will make a life for you like He did me. And every day you'll wake up so fulfilled that you can't believe you ever did it to begin with. And you just want to shout and sing and tell everybody how good it is. And it might take you a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but wouldn't you rather go on a journey that took you 7 years of overcoming your lower nature, overcoming your addictions and living the boring life that you don't want to live, of sitting there high all the time, even if it means that you get just 1 year or 6 months of service to God. And when you become a grandfather in many years to come, you can speak of that time, the time you conquered your flesh, the time you overcame it, and you walked out to serve God. And however you did it, you can speak of the people you helped, and you can speak of the work that God did through you, because you emptied yourself of your negative nature, of your thoughts, and you became a bridge for His light and His love and the work He needed to be carried out, using the love of others who needed to cross over you as that bridge because they were busy at home with their families, or whatever it is that stops people from doing a sort of life that I do. I'm damn sure if I had children back in the West, there's no way I'd be over here doing this now. So it's not like everybody's life can be like my own. But I guess sometimes I speak directly to those single young men and single young women who were like me. And I'm saying, get up, do something, fight. Even if your fight lasts 5 years before you conquer your flesh, at least you're then there and you're free and you're empty. And He will bring you to a life that you can't even begin to dream of from where you're sitting now. I'm living proof. I'm living proof. This is not just words. It happened to me. It can happen to you. And all these wonderful messages I get and prayers I get, I'm grateful, and I always will be. And the year we had in 2017 was phenomenal. But I'm just the lucky one who got plonked in the middle. There are many more people who were in 2017 are able to go to bed with a smile on their faces, knowing they achieved many things here too. It's the greatest feeling in the world for us when we do. And if you want a bit of that, then you can have it. You've just got to use the same tools I used. All I did, all of this happened with that alone. God at the foundation. Prayer was the next step. Learning how to hear the response to prayer was the next step. Learning how to get a connection to humanity, which was social media. And learning how to be grateful and loving, and seeing the importance of every single person who clicks share on every post, who sends every wonderful comment, who sends every single dollar or every single penny or cent. And being grateful for each and every tiny little part that comes, whatever it looks like. And understanding and seeing it as equal to everything that you do. And I don't think you can see it all as equal until you get to that state of no thought. And as I've said time and time again, the easiest way to get to a state of no thought is to preserve your secretion. Preserve the Christ within. You've got 12 chances this year. Don't waste them. So, Happy New Year. I hope we have a year as blessed as 2017, and I'm sure that we will. There are big things ahead for us this year. Big things, I'm sure. I can feel it. God bless, guys. Thank you for everything. You make this world possible. You're just as important as myself and the staff on the ground. You're just as important as the trustees to us. You're just as important as the children are around us. Family. Family. We can't even put food in the mouth of the children we love without you. And we do not go to sleep at night ever without giving great thanks to God and to all those that He sends into our lives. And I just hope and pray that something I've got in me to say can nourish and help somebody out there, or might even stimulate someone to come somewhere or to do something, or even just to heal themselves and alter their perceptions, or to just carry on praying for the children. We love you guys. Happy New Year.